Hello, everyone. This series on the values of friendship and relationships continues into the new year, and today's topic, like I told you earlier, is assertiveness. I want to start by telling you what assertiveness means, why I believe it's one of the most critical communication skills you can have in any relationship, and how can you move closer towards developing it. So, I want to start by my favorite definition of assertiveness, which is the ability to communicate or articulate your thoughts in a clear, non threatening, and constructive way. Assertiveness is not something that we really need to be taught. It's inherent in us as human beings. When we're little babies and children, we know how to ask for things that we need by crying or by expressing our needs and wants. But when the people around us make us believe that our needs and our opinions don't really matter, which is what happens very often with the best of the most well-meaning people, we start to believe that our needs are actually not important. It's a way for us to survive. It's an early decision we make, and then we tell ourselves that, you know what, I'm going to keep my opinion, my needs to myself because I don't want to be shamed for my desires. And that gives rise to a passive style of communication where even many years later, silently, unconsciously, we continue with the same pattern of communication. We're hesitant to speak up, we're hesitant to make our opinion known to others for fear of being abandoned or for fear of being rejected. We spoke about this last time too. And on the other hand, when our needs are neglected, but it is also accompanied by some amount of violence or abuse, then many people become rebellious. They feel that they need to constantly fight for their survival. So everything becomes about one-upmanship, about having the last word, and our style of communication becomes aggressive. We feel that we cannot do without using strong language, pushy, intimidating body language, and that just becomes us. So think about these two styles of communication, aggressive and passive, as two ends of a spectrum. Assertiveness is the sweet middle spot of the spectrum, what we call the Goldilocks zone. The purpose of an assertive style of communication is to clearly communicate one's thoughts and also listen to the other person's thoughts when they communicate, with the purpose of promoting better understanding, finding better solutions, and promoting harmony in any interaction. People who use assertive communication mostly have the life position, I'm okay, you're okay. So opinions, needs, boundaries are mutually respected. And this is not just communicated through words, it's also communicated through body language, through nonverbal communication, through the vibe and the energy that they radiate. So don't think of assertiveness as some diplomatic way of speaking to people, because no matter how hard you try, what's in your heart will always come out through some expression or the other. So I would say that assertiveness is your ability to be your most genuine and most authentic self and appreciate others for the same. So now I want you to ask yourself, where on this spectrum are you, from passivity to aggression? It's very difficult to answer that because we're not the same with all people. There are so many examples of people who are very bossy and very different at home. In fact, they make their own family members their punching bags, but out in public, in a social atmosphere, they are very meek and they are very different because they have an image to protect, or they have a deep fear of authority. So they will not be able to speak up in front of a super boss or a school headmaster or somebody very senior in the family. Then, of course, there is passive aggressive behavior, which is that if someone has done something that has upset me really deeply, instead of addressing it through assertive behavior and talking about it and telling the person that I felt bad and I felt very hurt because of what you did, I have a tendency to, not me, I'm talking about people who have a tendency of passive aggression, to betray them in some other way, or to either go silent and go missing on them, not call them, suddenly sever all ties with them because they don't have the ability, they find it so difficult to bring it up with them and speak about it in a straightforward way. All of these are unhealthy patterns of communication, right from passivity to aggression to all these other combinations. And if you really do fall in the center of the spectrum and really know how to use your assertiveness skills, then please help and encourage other people to acquire them. That can be your purpose. In the end, I'd like to say that as parents, don't raise obedient children, raise assertive children. Create an atmosphere at home where views can be shared, where opinions can be mutually respected, where healthy dialogue is promoted. Because then these children will grow up to be neither those who can stand injustice nor rebels without a cause. They will grow up to be effective leaders, more compassionate friends. They will grow up to forge strong relationships, and they'll love you for it. Until next time, goodbye from the Wellness Capsule.